there's supposed to be, all these people are shipping Tormund and Brienne, but she's so clearly not into it. Like, it's clearly Brienne and Jaime. Like,
yeah.
Especially in that scene, her face was just like
she can't get far enough away from that guy.
Yeah, it's almost becoming a creep situation. So, stop shipping Tormund and Brienne. I love Tormund, but it's a no-go.
It's just not going to happen. Which actually reminds me, so the knighting scene, whenever she relents and kind of, is like, yeah, I do want to become a knight, and they do the knighting thing. Like, just all the feels.
Yeah.
And then when she stands up, and then the crowd there starts, like, applauding her, and she just looks so proud and happy, and then the smile she gives to everybody else, like, after they start, like, recognizing her, and, like, this just happened, she's a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, and just pure joy. Like, where did you find this actress? Because she's the perfect Brienne of Tarth.
Gwendolyn Christie, yeah.
So amazing. Like, she might be my favorite, like, casting out of everybody.
Oh, yeah.
It is, she's definitely way up there as, like, a perfect fit for this character.
And plays it so well of just that, like, dutiful, almost innocence. And she's had to, like, a little bit of arc of getting over naivety and learning, like, oh, wait, I can't honor all these vows all the time. And sometimes I just have to make a moral choice. Yeah, I love her.
It's definitely something that Jamie's kind of trying to been telling her, in their travels together. Which, actually, can we talk for a moment? The bit at the end of the episodes where Dan and Dave talk about
the worst part.
Episode. I was just so pissed after, like, having that beautiful episode, the beautiful arc for Brienne, and they talk about that, and I forgot which one it was, but he said something, like, yeah, it's just this dream she's always had to be knighted, but, like, on top of that, she finally has Jaime's approval and whatever. I'm like, fuck off, because number one is the knighting thing. Like, Jaime's approval and stuff is just a nice little bonus.
Right. And also, Jaime gave her a Valyrian steel, like a sword, like, whatever.
She already had his approval and all that stuff.
Nor does she need it. Oh, every time they talk at the end of those episodes, it makes me think that they should not be writing these series.
Well, and then it made me think, like, how involved are you anymore? Because is that really the intention of that scene? Because it's not at all what, how that seemed to play off.
I realized that it's just one of them. It's the one that used to always have the long sideburns. I can't remember which one is Dan and which one is Dave, but he's the worst one. The other one tends to say insightful things. Anyway, that is such bullshit. It's things like that where I'm like, oh God, maybe you do have all the problems. But
thank goodness you're probably not actually writing
as much as you say you are. Yeah, no kidding. But speaking of that scene, right afterwards, after, like, crying for her and feeling, like, all the love and the pride, I was just like, shit, this might change my death prediction.
Oh, yeah. Last time we talked, and we were like, maybe she might get out.
I was so sure she's probably going to make it until that scene. As soon as it was over, I was like, fuck, she's going to die now.
Well, and actually also, since Jaime asked her if he could fight by her side, it's like, well, Jaime's surviving the battle, so that means Brienne's not too. So it's just like, there's so much attention. She's, like, finally got her payoff. Like, her arc's complete. Like, she's dying, but also, like, whenever you're sticking her right next to Jaime, like, she's definitely dying because he's got to make it out. Which I think that you were all about, like, him dying in her arms.
You think it's gonna flip?
It's gonna flip.
It's gonna be
there when
Ygritte and Jon all over again.
Yeah. Like, he might even be the cause, maybe, of, like,
she would absolutely throw herself in front of him because she's honorable.
Yep. And now, has this love with her and Jaime, so.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of, I'm dreading next episode. Just like, it's coming, and I'm just like, I want to watch it, I think. I don't know. But we also have to talk about one other really happy scene. Just some badass consensual sex on the part of our little heroine, Arya. And somehow of all the, rape and torture and child murder, this scene of a 22-year-old actress and an 18-year-old character having consensual sex that she's enjoying really just didn't sit well with fans.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I was listening to some...
What is wrong with people?
Reactions of the episode, and, anytime it came up, people would be like, I was just like, I just want to turn you off right now, immediately.
So ridiculous.
Go.
Seriously, of everything that's happened, this bothers you?
Yeah.
Not to mention, a lot of us have been shipping Arya and Gendry for a long time. Yeah. So I was surprised that they even did it. I thought that they would hint at it, that they would flirt some more, and maybe, show them getting together in the end, which probably means he's also not going to make it now that this has happened.
But... And I do,
But I was just, sitting there oh, damn!
Yeah. Just get it.
But Arya's a grown-ass young woman who can have some sex. Oh, yeah. One of my favorite tweets, I think, was I can't believe she was I don't want to die a virgin, and then fucking topped him. Hell yes.
I understand, I think, where people are coming from with it, because you watch this character grow up.
As from a 10-year-old,
right.
And yeah.
So then to that, I would say, well, they handled this scene a little bit more tastefully. You don't get, a full frontal from, Arya's character or anything like that. So it's just
cute little side boob.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's fine that you didn't see anything that, was going to scar your life because you saw this child grow into a woman, and now you've fully seen the woman. It's fine. But I was kind of curious on how filming that scene actually went, because the cast and crew probably did and really did watch her grow up. So how uncomfortable they probably
I actually watched an interview about this with Macy Williams, and she was saying everybody's trying to be respectful of you, so they're trying not to look, but then it made her feel grotesque or something, because no one will look at you, you know, and so it was an awkward kind of, she said it was very awkward to shoot.
I definitely think that for those folks it would probably be 10 times more awkward, just because that is, I don't, they obviously know her. We just watch her, an hour a week.
Right.
On the TV. So,
and then Joe Dempsey, who plays Gendry, is a little bit older than her. He's, I think, 30.
Yeah.
Because back in Skins days. But when they were filming last, he probably was an adult and she was a child. So that maybe would be a little bit awkward.
Right. And that's kind of.
But it's really not that crazy of an age difference, you know?
So, the actual fact that it happened, just get over it and move on.
Get over yourself.
It's not actually an awkward scene or shouldn't have ever been done. Maybe recognize why maybe you feel a little bit uncomfortable with it.
Right, and you maybe have maternal or paternal instincts toward her. That's fine, but she's still a grown woman who can have a sex scene. Right. So I did love she posted also on Twitter and was if you think it makes you uncomfortable, just think of my father, mother, brother, sister, blah, 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 who all watched it too. Ha, 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 kill me. It was really cute.
Oh.
So yeah, that was one of the best scenes too. Then, Jon decides that right before, on the eve of their doom, would be a really great time to tell Dany about his heritage.
Well, she has to know.
She does have to know, but I just right now?
Right now? Yeah.
Right now?
Maybe this could have been saved for after this fight.
Yeah.
But shit's still all going to be true after the fight.
Big surprise, she didn't take it well.
Yeah, not at all. She seemed very resentful and was kind of you've been planning this the whole time.
So I did want to talk about, because both you and I have been big, believers kind of in the Dany goes banani theory, as we so call it, her becoming the Mad Queen. And a lot of people kind of on Twitter and other social media are kind of pushing back and being well, you guys are acting like she's going crazy just because she burned some people, which things out of context, right? But, you know...
She's burned a couple people.
Right. Well, but they were saying, you know, like, maybe that's sexist because Jamie's done all these horrible things and you love him. And, like, everybody else has murdered a bunch of people and you love them.
There's definitely a difference of where these characters are headed, like where Jamie and the Hound are going to.
Right.
Where they're from versus, like...
The opposite.
Is backwards. Yeah, and it's like, do you not see that part?
Well, and then the other thing I was going to say to that is I do think that there are a lot more hints in the books about, like, her psyche and, like, maybe just kind of...
Yes, I think she's
losing control and being a control freak.
Definitely more off-kilter in the books, for sure.
I kind of feel like that maybe, you know, without that context, it's not as well done in the show. But it did give me something to think about, and it was like, am I judging this, you know, woman character differently? Yeah. And then I was like, no. Yeah. She's still burning people willfully instead of, like, putting them in prison. I mean, she's not as bad as Cersei, who's a straight-up terrorist.
Right. So, actually, speaking of which, since we're in theory time, I'm going to try to, like, throw a bunch of these
We are officially in theory time, and occasionally we might be right, so be warned.
Spoilers if we're right.
Almost never.
So one of the talks about, like, the battlefield they're setting up, right, is that, like, you don't see the Night King in the end scene. You just see a lot of his, like, White Walkers there. And so they're kind of theorizing that the Night King is actually going down to King's Landing and will sort of start the war from down there. I'm not sure what truth that holds, but it got me thinking about the, you know, whole... Daenerys kind of going crazy theories. And then it had me thinking about Cersei, which you mentioned, you know, is kind of also losing it. And then I was like, what if Cersei's the Mad Queen?
I mean, I think she definitely already is.
Yeah, she's already tried. She's blown up the Sept, you know. She's mimicking a lot of these things. And then in that case, that would make Jaime Azor Ahai, which I remember hearing about these theories a little way back when, and, like, I didn't think they held much water, but
I actually
I'm starting to, like, lean that way.
Can maybe see Jaime being Azor Ahai. The only thing is that it was predicted that it would come from the Mad King's line.
Yeah, and there is speculation that, again, they're not...
So I could also see, this was the other thing I was going to say in theory time is that way back with Quaithe, she predicted that Dany would be betrayed, if you remember. And the show version, I think, is like once for blood, once for money, once for love. And I could see Jon fulfilling that love if he has to kill her. To save the kingdom and or his family.
Yes.
Which I could also see happening, which would also kind of fulfill the Azor Ahai prophecy. Yeah, I think both of those are possible. Also, while we're in theory time, I do have to talk about those crypts. I think I posted that little meme of Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove. Like, oh, right, the crypts for safety. The crypts built specifically for safety, the safe crypts.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, this is not going to work out. And you put all your women and children down there. Also, your Gilly dies theory, maybe.
Yeah.
And Varys and this poor little Shireen 2.0 might be in some trouble.
Yeah.
And I mean,
She'll got a lot of defending to do, so...
A lot of these bodies are old or just skeletons, but we've seen skeletons.
Yeah.
That the Night King has raised. There was only one theory that I did like, though, and I think it was from... I don't know. It wasn't from a writer. It was from somebody else, but basically said, like, well, the Starks did bury their dead with iron swords, so... Maybe there's this possibility that they'll come up on the good side.
With iron swords?
I don't know. Just saying they buried them with swords, like, to defend.
Oh, okay. I see where
I like this theory, but I don't know how it would happen.
Yeah. That would be interesting to see, for sure. And have them try to explain in this battle, like, why that happened that way.
The other thing is, like... I do hate that Bran is the Night King theories, but maybe he can raise his own dead. I mean, he can warg.
Oh, Bran, yeah. Ugh. Ugh.
I would rather see him warg into that ice dragon, though.
He hasn't done some warging since Hodor.
I know.
So